good love, good light, and good high vibrational health. Wayshowers, illuminators, and beautiful beings of Gaia. This is Wendy once again sharing with you the myriad and variety of the ways that the earth, air, fire, water, ether, and all that is speaks to us through the languages of lights. And one of the beautiful sounds of color is green. And look at these beautiful herbs that I've rescued from my local grocery store, actually. I was just doing my typical grocery shopping, and I like to add fresh herbs and spices, as many of you know, to just regular food to make just nature's bounty taste even better. And the smell of them is of its own amazingness. It has its own frequency, vibration. It raises your energy, your frequency. Everything that we eat that's alive raises our vibration, and in turn raises the vibration of everything else. So these were looking pretty sorry at the grocery store. It's kind of the end of the season, so I rescued them. And these, I believe, are all, yes, these are all annuals, meaning that they're not perennials. They will not come back every year. So I will be, depending on how well they do, I'll repot them, and I will bring them in the house over the winter time because the zone for them to not freeze over the winter is pretty far south. So unless you live where it's really warm all the time and you don't get any kind of freeze, we have to bring our herbs into the house. So they just already are smelling amazing. So I thought I would just take this opportunity, as many of you have asked me to share these little brief moments with you. So I wanted to just share with you one of the things that I was buying. You can buy in our grocery stores just regular old, not regular old, what I mean is already snipped fresh herbs and so forth. And for about the same price as you can buy a whole plant. So these were, as I said, looking kind of sad, and they were like just begging me to bring them home and help bring them back to life, or at least nurture what's left of them and just love them and use them on my food. So they called out to me because for the same price, you can grow a little plant as if you've got a little bit of sunshine, and they do require a sunny window in the wintertime. So you do need to have a pretty good southern exposure. Western's even a little kind of iffy because I used to have a western exposure and it really wasn't enough light, and the light that they did get was a little too low in the sky by that time of the day and not really bright enough for long enough. So you do need a sunny window in the wintertime. But I wanted to also share with you, I wish I could share the scent with you. And this particular one I just loved because I wanted to show you too how these are, they kind of give some ideas of what to use them on. And so I encourage everybody to investigate this stuff on your own, because the very energy of you looking this stuff up raises your vibration. Literally learning about the things that Earth has to give us and how it gives us energy and affects our senses and the aromas, and because all of these are made into essential oils. I've got thyme and parsley and basil and rosemary. All of these are made into essential oils that serve a great many variety of purposes. So I have been learning more and more myself as I go along and as I have time about the benefits of essential oils and how I've been applying them in my own life. But one of the things I wanted to share with you about this, now this is some thyme. This happens to be USA, organic. Thyme roasted vegetables on here is one of the little kind of recipes, if you will. Add whole sprigs of thyme when roasting any vegetables with a little olive oil and salt. Great with potatoes, carrots, parsnips, green beans, asparagus, and more. So I wanted to share that because this is another way of taking our diets and every little bit of making healthy diets and adding these elements into our daily rituals of adding the colors and the beauty of nature. As you can see, it's already beginning to become closer to autumn here, and the leaves are already beginning to change. And so all of this is all part of high dimensional, high vibrational health, and everything that we do every day to offer ourselves self-care. And self-care is about eating things that make us feel better, about things that smell better, and these are automatically deter insects, and they invite the good guys. And so it's all about this balance of beauty and harmony. And they even have a little creamy herb spread that you can use so to make out of these. And so they just said to take them out of the plastic. And so what I did is I made a hole in the bottom and cut the plastic off the bottom, cut the plastic off the top, because they were in pretty tall plastic things. And I took them all out and said and water them in the dish. I just grabbed some old plastic dishes that I had that I used to save for gardening, and I cleaned them out with baking soda really well to make sure that they were all nice and clean and didn't harbor any pests. And this basil, this is basil, and it just smells amazing. And as you snip these off, as you use them, you snip them off at the top, and it just encourages them to grow even more. Now this guy was filled with a lot of brown and yucky leaves, and so I really kind of skimmed him down, and so we'll see how well he comes back. But as I use them and pinch him off, he should grow a little bit better and bushier, and especially if I start feeding them some homemade compost tea and things like that. So. And we have some, let me go back to the basil here. So now on the basil, let's see if it's got any, and actually they've got a website here too to give you ideas for recipes and so forth. I thought maybe, and basil, it just smells amazing, and I use it in a lot of dishes. And a lot of these too, I just break off and bring in the house just so that they smell good. And in the wintertime, they smell amazing. Even right now with the wind picked up, and it's really, the air is just scented with them right now, so it's just wonderful. And they've even got some easier appetizers on here to just brush it with brush bread with the olive oil and the chopped rosemary. It's just amazing how simple that when we add these herbs and spices, and how easy it is, and you don't need much space to do this kind of thing, to have this beauty around you. And every little bit of this stuff literally helps raise us to new levels. Every time we show more and more self-care. This is Italian parsley, and there's a little herb Alfredo sauce recipe on there. And we've got how to make and actually I've never seen this before, chimichurri. So little recipes on there. And I've been buying magazines and looking things up, and because sometimes I like to actually have the paper right in front of me, and I just have my little snippers here, and I just snip a little off every time I need a little for my recipe or whatever I'm doing for that day, and encourages them to grow back. And I encourage everybody to grow as many if you have the space. Many of these many are perennial, and they do come back every year. So investigate, experiment. It's up to us to take charge of our own health, of our own vibration, and everything that we do is a decision to do these things. It's a decision to make a choice about what we're going to do in our lives, and how we're going to spend our moments, and how we're going to feed our souls, and how we are going to raise. It's very difficult for us to understand that by doing these little things in our lives every day, how we raise the vibration of the collective consciousness just by making a conscious aware effort and to change the things in our life. And even if this doesn't resonate with you, the point is do what does. And this makes me feel good. I love the smell. It makes me feel connected to the earth, the elements, the elementals. It makes me remember how everything's connected, that what we smell, what we see, what we hear, what we touch, what we experience is all the same thing. Light is color, color is sound, color is healing, light is healing, sound is healing. We know this. We've forgotten and we're remembering. And one of the languages of lights is the colors of the foods that we put in our bodies is also a language of light. We're feeding our vortexes, we're feeding our chakras, we're exciting ourselves by eating a rainbow. So I encourage everybody to, as often as possible, make better and wiser choices every moment. And I, once again, am just like everyone else. I'm learning and exploring, and I'm just finding that these things that no longer serve me are simply falling away. I'm no longer interested in eating the things that don't make me feel good anymore. And I'm understanding I've always understood, and this, I guess this goes into a whole nother conversation, but we're willing to spend billions and billions of dollars collectively on herbs, in capsules, and all this stuff that's already packaged and powdered, and yet we won't take the time to investigate what's right before us. And yet we don't want to spend the money, for example, on something that's organic, something's healthier, better, something that makes us feel better about looking at it, preparing it, putting it in our grocery basket, putting it in our bodies. Everything we put in our bodies transforms into the energy that we are. And so, and also they're reminding me just now that plants have sound, they have music, they sing to us, and they sing to our bodies and our senses. And these truly sung to me really in the store and said, please, please take me home, or we're going to end up in the garbage, withered away, for no one to enjoy it, even if it's just for a short time. Because just like everything else, it's fleeting. Everything that we experience is fleeting. Everything. And we must seize the moment and take the time to do this. I remember even when I was where I lived before, and the chives came up first in the springtime, and I couldn't wait to see the chives first popping up out of the ground. And I would literally get, when I was serving my dinner and I would forget, I would literally stop what I was doing and run outside and go clip my little chives so that I could bring them in and rinse them off and put them on my potatoes or whatever it is that I was making at the moment, because it made me feel better. And so this is all about wanting by intention to make ourselves feel better, about putting ourselves first. We forget that we are our own universe. We forget that we are the only ones in our world, and everything else we're creating for us, by us. Everything, moment by moment, is a decision to take yourself to your highest joy and your highest excitement, moment by moment, as far as you can take it, without expectation. Without expectation, and as far as you can take it. So even if this is as far as you can take it for today, well, that's as far as you can take it. But let that be a stepping stone. I cannot tell you how every time I touch these, they smell amazing. They send ripples of just energy through me that I cannot explain. So if any of you have never tried it before, or if you don't have a place to plant them, by all means, buy the stuff that's fresh, but it's already clipped for you. And dried is fine too. But remember, everything changes its frequency as it transforms in energy. Just like water to ice, to vapor, to steam, to liquid, everything is a transformation. Everything changes its frequency when its molecular structure changes. So as we try to keep things in their most pure form, we keep the vibration of it, and it it elevates us in ways that we cannot even explain. And more lately have my guides have been asking me to share with all of you more and more about enlivening the chakras, tickling the chakras, they just told me, stroking them, energizing them, truly stirring up the pot. They're showing me like this pot that's been simmering but yet hasn't been stirred for too long, and then things get stuck at the bottom. And so they're showing me about stirring this pot. I guess we're in the culinary mode today. So they're showing me about stirring up this pot and letting everything meld up together again, and releasing what was at the bottom so that it's allowed to come up and meld with everything and come to the surface and allow us to enjoy its aroma, not hide beneath it, not it doesn't detract from it. It adds to the flavor of the stew, of the pot, of the soup, and of the salad, whatever you want to call it. So we need to stir this stuff up inside of us and our energy in every way, shape, and form that stimulates us. And that means everything. Whether it's singing, dancing, listening to music, eating, walking, exercising, meditating, breathing. Breathing is the absolute first and foremost one most important thing we can do for ourselves in every given moment, to be aware of our breath. And every time we smell something amazing, we become more and more aware of our breath, and we become more and more aware of the power within our breath and the power scent has, and the power that scent has to evoke color, and the power that color has to evoke emotion, and how music has to evoke color and emotion within us. Everything is connected, and we are connected to everything. And even the smallest, and many of us are going through some major transition right now, which we will get into in some other videos. But every time we do something like this, we are telling ourselves, our higher selves, and our universe that we are ready to take the next step to be a higher version of ourselves, that we are ready to enliven our senses, activate our vortexes, and no longer be the victims to things the way that they have been, to no longer being afraid to choose the things that we need to choose in order for us to feel better, and to stop justifying the reasons why we don't do it. It's not cheaper. We will spend billions of dollars going for medical attention, but we ignore the things that will prevent us that money to begin with. Things like this, our diets. If we would spend a fraction on our diet, what we do in other areas of our lives where we justify it, which when I say justify, if it's pleasing you, yes, of course, but yet we will justify spending several dollars on one, say, cup of coffee, for example, or one cocktail, one whatever, and yet we will say, well, I can't afford to buy a plant. So, which will enrich me for weeks, if not months, if not, years to come. So it's about making these divine choices within ourselves that tell the universe we know we're sovereign beings and we're ready to take that next high dimensional step. So I know these guys are going to perk up, and they're going to perk my food up and my dinner, and I'm going to make an amazing salad tonight with all these beautiful, gorgeous, live, high vibrational frequency foods that I've been eating all day, and I'm going to have on my salad tonight and add some of these beautiful elements to my culinary vortexes, if we will. And I encourage all of you who feel as if you are have created a circumstance in which this is not accessible to you, then I encourage you to envision a life, envision what your life would look like if it was different than what it is now. What would you be eating? What would you be drinking? Where would you be living? Become the vibration of that. Look this stuff up just for the fun of it, just to see how it adds vitality. And even if you have to use the dried stuff, which I've been doing for years, guys, in the times when I couldn't have this available to me, I was still taking advantage of the people who did tend to these, who did offer to grow these for me and dry them for me and put them into packages. I still send my love and appreciation and gratitude to all of them for allowing even the dried materials to be a part of my existence, because they were once alive and still offer the essence. So I know this has gotten a little bit longer than I intended, of course, because I get so involved and so passionate about all of this. And as I sit here, I'm in this beautiful breeze and seeing the butterflies and seeing the trees beginning to change, feeling the colors and aromas around me, and just so excited, because all of these things make us more excited about being alive and experiencing Earth as we can experience Earth in no other way than we can experience it in this way. And that's part of this too, is seizing the moment, because these things are fleeting. Seizing the moment, the day, nurturing something and caring for something that you then put in your body in exchange of energy. There's nothing more rewarding. I love you all. So happy high vibrational health, high dimensional dining, and until the next now, may you all be absorbed in the many, many layers and realms of the languages of lights. Namaste, Mahala.